life will give you what you ask. Hello, my name is 𝐷𝐢𝐯. And today's topic is exactly that. Life will give you what you ask. If you don't ask, you don't receive. Okay, let me give you an example, and I'll make a couple examples. For example, I have a beautiful woman, younger than me, right? Why I have her? Because I dared to ask. Maybe man felt not so confident, say, oh, I don't dare, she's too young for me, she's too, she's pretty, right? But because I ask, I receive. She could have told me no, but remember, your answer will always be no if you don't ask. And that applies in everything in life. You as a professional, if you don't go and ask for what you believe what you're worth, your commission, you're gonna get less of. You gotta stand behind your value. You gotta believe on it. Let me give you another example. Just today, you see this haircut? I like the haircut. It's not the best haircut I have received before, but it's nice. I was going around different barbershop and they wasn't doing a good haircut. I looked at, it makes me look older, it doesn't make me look as good. But I was listening to the conversation what the barber was complaining about, how much he gets paid, right? And how people complain about, his fees. There was a guy there that when he asked him 20 bucks, he was like, 20 bucks? Like he was trying to like lowball him, right? So I told him, look, let me give you an example when I sat down with him. You gotta act what you believe you're worth. Okay, this is why you're going through like what you're going through, because if you believe your value at that much, that's exactly what they're gonna charge you. I know barbers out here charging $45, right? So basically I told them, if you believe what you're worth, that's exactly what you're gonna charge. So, for example, you're doing your hair, you're doing your eyebrows, you're doing the beard, you should be charging more. And what if you're going through those problems you're going right now? So you yourself giving yourself a value, you should be charging more. And he thought about it, and even after he was done, he gave me a great haircut. Not the best that I had before, but a lot better than a couple of months that I've been getting. And he comes and charges me $22. So I gave him $35. Had he asked for $35, I would have gave him $50. You see that? It's because what you ask, you gotta believe in yourself what you're worth. Life will give you what you're worth. If you're going for a job, if you believe you're worth $10 an hour, that's exactly what you're gonna get. It's not about being arrogant. It's about being confident. For example, with $15, $20 an hour, I will starve to death. That's just not my financial thermostat, okay? And that's a problem. You gotta set your financial thermostat. If your financial thermostat is down here at $15 an hour, that's exactly what you're gonna go towards to $15 an hour, because you believe that the value you provide is worth that much, okay? It doesn't have to do nothing with college education or whatever, because again, I remember when I was young, without a college education at the time, I was making a lot more money than people that were in college, or people that were even teaching professors in college, okay? Because I believe, it wasn't that I was arrogant, I was confident. There's a difference. I believe my financial thermostat was up here. So no matter what happens in your life, yeah, that thermostat may come down a little, but eventually comes back up, because that's what you're worth, or that's what you believe you're worth. So if you ask, you shall receive. Always remember that. Okay? Even if you have to change career, you will do that, right? It's like a bottle of water, right? If you buy a bottle of water on the street, the cheap ones is probably $1, right? If you go to buy that same bottle of water, for example, at the beach, it's going to cost you maybe $3, right? You go to a movie theater, it could cost you $5, $7, right? You go on an airplane, it's going to cost you over $10. What happened? Did the bottle of water change value? Huh? Did it change? Yeah, it changed what? Exactly that, the value. It's not the type of water, it's water, but it changed because where it was at. So if you're not being appreciated or valued, then you gotta reconsider where you're standing, where you're selling, where you're making money at, because you create that value. And when you believe on that, you first gotta believe in yourself. And when you believe that in your heart, other people will start believing in you. And you provide that value and they will actually pay. So remember that. You get paid what you believe you're worth. That happens in anything. I value everyone. I'm happy even when my McDonald's server, because without her, I wouldn't be getting sometimes my Big Macs or whatever I ask, right? But in her mindset or their mindset, that's what they believe they're worth at the time, until they realize I'm worth so much more. So you're worth what you believe you're worth. Always remember that, and your financial thermostat will always be back here no matter what happens in life. It will fluctuate, but it will be back here. But if you're already here, low, down here, at $10, $15 an hour, that's exactly what you're going to get throughout life. $15, $20, whatever it is. No, you got to believe that you're worth so much more, and you got to act like it. You got to act like it. You got to believe it. right? Fake until you make it, and you believe me, you will get that much more. That happens even with listing agents. If you believe you're worth 3% commission, then so be it. Versus 6, versus 7, you don't, that's value and determined by you and the seller. And I'm honestly determined by you, because I could go right now to listing presentation, and if the seller believes I'm worth 3%, I'm like, bye, because I'm not worth 3%. I know what I provide. I know the value I provide. I know what I'm worth. And I know not to discount myself to the point where I'm giving my services away. All right? So always remember that. Believe in your value, and you're going to see you do a lot much better. Even if you got to get a course out there of something else, you will grow, but believe that you are worth it. And this starts with you believing in yourself. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and share. And God bless.
I don't just sell houses. I advocate in your best interest. Call me today.